Hello everybody, here is our tutorial and video journal on the surprise room of the bakery for Just Sweet and Sugar Coated. Remember, these are always hashtag as is. So this is my box that I'm using, the same as the others, and here is my supplies. I didn't end up using all of these, I just kind of throw them in there to look around. These felts were on sale. The wrapping paper, I did buy those stickers. And I didn't use that, which is such a cool ribbon. I have the boxes handy because I look at them for inspiration, ideas, lots of trim, some left over. Those little plastic pink, or not pink, multicolored roses were so cute. Again, I had a lot of this for Gingerbread's dorm room, but I had way too much. So this was perfect to get moving on it and do something different. Here's looking at the box I'm working on, the ceiling. That felt is pretty much close to that size. I only had to cut some out for the front. Here is the size right now. You can see I got that on sale, so I really worked with it, and I knew that when I used the pink with the chevron zigzags that it wasn't going to fit all the way across the back and side, so I had to come up with a different solution to make that happen. I did some math, and there's my little tick marks that are telling me where I need to put my candy cane wrapping paper so that it fits and I have a nice even middle of this box for this area. I thought this was nice for just being behind the counter, or if the oven is there for a heat block from the wall, whichever. But I did like throwing the red and white stripes in there very much. So what's next? I've glued on the wrapping paper. You can see my marks. Got to do those notations. It keeps me straight. I used the high gloss Mod Podge on it, and in the end I ended up doing about 3 coats because I really wanted it to be shiny like a candy cane, and that worked out well. It's wrapping paper, it's thin, it has a little bit of a ripple to it, but it does flatten out for the most part. I only put the glue around the edges, of course, because as always I'm trying to hide the glue and not have those glue dimples happening. It really does a lot for the end project in my eyes. So once that's done and dry with my marks, I will cover up some of the candy cane wrapping paper with the felt to the exact measurements it needs to be, and therefore I used all that felt quite perfectly. So what am I doing next besides looking at it over and over again? Oh, I put some marks there because that's where the curtain rod valance is going to hang, so I got support no matter what's under it. I know I'm going to cover this here spot with a very thick ribbon. I anticipated that, so I curved that down onto the walls a little bit. And there's my valance planning shown once again to hide the glue dimples and make it so that the valance doesn't fall off. That's been consistent throughout the entire dorm room projects. While that Mod Podge is drying, I've decided to use my time wisely, get ahead and spray paint with my favorite primer for plastic, Bullseye 123, onto the stand so I can then paint them whatever color I would like to match. I'm loving that detail of those painted stands. So here now I have attached my felt. It goes all the way around wonderfully. My math was good, thank goodness. And let's just have a look. The top is matched up well. And I'm liking this pink. At first I was a little scared of it, but since I got things to break it up and then the dolls in front of it, I think it's going to look okay. So now I have the top, and here is the ribbon I had chosen to put over top of it. That was just a beautiful ribbon. That happens to me sometimes. I'm just like, I have to use this particular whatever because it's pretty. And the same with this bottom one, when the profile on that is so pretty, and I was like, it was just screaming to me, all of these ribbon candy, ribbon candy. So here is how I edged in that middle wall. I used the white. Oh wait, I guess I'm doing the floor first. This paper came in a 5-pack. I had used it for the doors in all the dorm rooms and had some leftovers, so this works out perfect for gingerbread. The usual, put the glue just around the edges, a few dabs here and there. once you Mod Podge it, the dabs hide really well in that, so that one's not a big concern. So now I think, am I just looking? I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm just looking. Okay, so the floors are in. I'm going to use, or I did use, some matte Mod Podge. Oh, here I was trying to show you how shiny that super gloss after 3 coats. So much of this gets lost on video that you see when you're in person, and that really stinks. But I did want to show that it's so shiny like a candy cane. Then I'm using a matte on the floor to have a difference. And this particular scrapbook paper, I knew from making the doors, you can see it here, it had some sort of emulsion happen and changed a little bit, but it was okay, and I knew that was going to happen because I had touched some of the glue on those doors. And it looks like gingerbread cookies, so that's all fine and dandy. Then, yeah, what do we got with glue here? So, duct tape around the edges, another thing that looks really cheesy on its own, but when I put the boxes together, it's working out really well. I am so happy about that. That's also really good for your wrists when they're going in. And besides looking pretty, it's nice to not mess up what you've done with your wrist rubbing against it. For this edging, I used the white and butted it up against the felt to give it a flat surface. So when I put on that blue, which is a very thin ribbon, pressed it down nicely with my hot glue on top, and then it didn't show where the end of the felt is. I hope that makes sense. It sounded really more complicated than it is. With this crown ribbon I'm using, it's really thick, so I was trying to pre-plan how it met in the corners so that it wouldn't have a big lump showing on the profile as you're looking straight into the box. I just thought I'd point that out, and so I'm not going to end that right at the gold duct tape. I'm going to shimmy that back just a little bit with enough room to fit in the green, just so it looked nice and neat. Those kind of things really make a difference to me anyways. To get that poofy ball ribbon on, I was kind of working a bunch of things at the same time, so I would take the poofy ball, attach it to the pink ribbon for about 4 or 5 inches, glue that down, stop, put another 4 or 5 inches onto the pink, then put the whole thing on, stop. And then while all that was drying, this is me getting ahead of myself, I was also jumping back and forth between the bottom trim and the white on top, the ribbon on top of it for a little bit more pizzazz, and that just makes it easier somehow. Especially these boxes compared to the Monster High, more bookshelf. This is so much easier to manage these boxes. Gotta love that. So this trim is now in, which wasn't originally going to go up the sides of the walls, but it was so pretty and the profile was so amazing, I just had to add more. Just one of those times where I don't really have everything perfectly planned. I have ideas and it talks to me. That's what I say to you, a bunch of you. It talks to me, and this is just kind of how things grow, and why I don't like talking live on some of these sometimes. I change my mind so much. Here, finishing the stands is a just simple brown to match the flooring. Those were super easy. These stickers are fabulous. They have a really, really double-sided sticky on them. Then adding that with hot glue, those things went up really nice. This cupcake was left over for gingerbread. It was too much in the room, so I finished painting it, and I did end up popping off the rose and putting just a puff ball. I felt that rose competed with the plastic roses, and I didn't like it. Simple little decision there. At this point, I am loving this room. These stands are now dry. My cupcake has been tidied up. I would have liked a red puffy ball, but I didn't have any. So pink, it works. In the end, I think probably was better because you wouldn't have seen it against the red stripes. This set, thanks to Grace, she didn't want it anymore and she sold it to me. I did use a utility knife very carefully and slowly and cut that extra bit of the tower off so it would fit. And that was really the inspiration, and what gave me the idea to do this whole room was having that play set and magnifying it and making the dolls be highlighted. So thanks to Gracie for this room, even though I miss her being into dolls so much, but she's busy and she's having fun. some leftover stuff I began to use for my, not leftover, I never even used it. This was as much as I had and I didn't use it. It was too much. This fabric was definitely left over. It's the same as the comforter on Ginger's dorm room. And I'm really liking all the dimension that adds in there, even though feathers don't really go, but the colors were right. These sticker colors were perfect colors. It's just something to break up the walls, and they're candies left over from Monster High. What is that, roller maze? I used some of those in. I'm just gonna glue those randomly all over the walls. And geez, Panda is going to town. I can't get her to stop snoring. Sorry about that. But thanks to you all who are so understanding, and to all of you who watch these ones. I feel like I'm being greedy with a video, but some of you like it, so I keep doing it. Thank you for that. Here's some more leftover, another talk to me kind of thing. It was like, it was so pretty, it was the perfect color. I got leftover, where can I put it? And then, well, I want some more puff balls because there's just not enough. I ended up covering some of those corners I worked so hard for, but when I look into the room, when I come up upon the whole project, that's when I love when those little textured profile details come together. So here we are. There's not much more going on. Let's set the furniture in here. I think that's what I'm doing here. Moving it around, making sure where I want it, thinking about where the dolls are going to be. Just, whoa. Sorry about that. Would you believe that's not the loudest? So now it's just time to decorate and make it look pretty so I can show all of you, which you've already seen. So here's the room empty, but with everything in. I did use some wax to hold a lot of that stuff in, good old museum wax. And here it is with the dolls. Don't forget to have a look at the tour if you want to see it up close and personal. Thanks for watching, everybody. You are the best. See you next time.